lead the UK-GEOTRACES NERC consortium, which is trying to understand the chemistry of the oceans in the South Atlantic. This is a region where there's very large amounts of productivity, of life in the ocean, and we know that this must have iron to supply it, but does this iron come from volcanoes beneath the ocean, from sediments, from dust falling onto the surface, or from rivers around the ocean? This is critical to understand because this iron supplies the ecosystems in the ocean that drive the fisheries throughout the South Atlantic. And the more life that we see in the ocean, the more carbon is removed from the atmosphere into the ocean, and therefore alleviating the problems of climate change.
Phytoplankton are the ocean's invisible forest. They transfer energy to all the marine organisms that survive in the ocean. So if we want to understand marine environments and how they might respond to future environmental change, we really have to understand at a fundamental level how these tiny little microscopic plants are responding to changes in the physics and the chemistry of the oceans.
We sailed out of Cape Town on the James Cook, one of the Natural Environment Research Council's research ships, and then went all the way across the South Atlantic at about 40 degrees south to Montevideo in Uruguay. We collect water from different depths throughout the ocean. We then bring that water back to Oxford in extremely clean environments so that we can analyse the very low concentration metals, such as iron, and the chemicals that we measure to get at the rate of processes in the ocean.
We have some samples that we preserve and take back to the lab, but there's other samples that we have to process right away. If we want to understand the physiology of the cells, how healthy they are, we have to do those experiments directly after we collect the seawater. We were able to look at different parts of the ocean with different nutrient limitations and look at its impact on the physiology of the phytoplankton. What we found was that phytoplankton in certain regions of the South Atlantic showed iron stress. We add a small amount of iron to the bottle containing the phytoplankton and incubate them over a certain period of time. And then when we measure their physiology again, we see that they have recovered, that they become healthier. Right now, we're at the stage of trying to piece together the various measurements that were made. This research is important because in addition to the important role phytoplankton play in the global carbon cycle, they also are the base of the marine food chain.
The cycling of the metal iron is now known to be critical for the amount of life in the ocean. We're throwing up many interesting questions about the iron cycle that we can't answer at 40 degrees south, and we need to move to other parts of the ocean to understand them. Cycling of iron is a critical chemical process that I really want to understand in the context of the climate change problem that we face today.